So the question is, if Guru Nanak says that all of mankind are equal, why should we label ourselves a Sikh, and where does the word Sikh come from? The word Sikh comes from Guru Nanak. So Guru Nanak has labeled a particular way of thinking. Your inclusivity makes you a Sikh. Sikh is not about making you exclusive. And think about in Guru Nanak's time, who would have been labelled a Sikh? His closest companion was by birth a Muslim. But would anyone dare to say that Bhai Mardana wasn't a Sikh? Bhai Mardana was a Sikh who happened to practice Muslim religious rituals. In fact, Guru Nanak Dev Ji took Bhai Mardana to Mecca, because in the Muslim tradition, every Muslim should go to Mecca. Guru Nanak Dev Ji encouraged him to be a good Muslim. But you would never say that Bhai Mardana was not a Sikh. He was a Sikh, but his very inclusivity of that term Sikh is what makes a real Sikh. So, what we've done, and what is something that has become evolved over time, is this idea that a Sikh is a separate religious identity. And that is something that has evolved over time, where the Sikhs now say, in order to be a Sikh, you can't be a Muslim. You can't be a Hindu and a Sikh. But perhaps Guru Nanak Dev Ji's definition of a Sikh was more inclusive than today's definition of a Sikh. So perhaps in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time, you could be a Muslim Sikh, you could be a Hindu Sikh, you could be a Buddhist Sikh. But in today's definition of what we call a Sikh, we've been comfortable with boxing ourselves into a category that says, I am a Sikh, which means I cannot be anything else. And there is a history behind it, and some of these things stem from the Sikh Ret Maryada, and there have been a lot of influences from the British empires and when Britain invaded India. So those kind of things have had an influence. It's not a question of what's right or wrong. Over time, all religious traditions change. All religions have changed. All religions go through this identity crisis where they feel like they need to know who they are. The Sikhs are also following that similar trend. But our definition ultimately of what a Sikh is has to come from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And we're very lucky that we have the authentic source within our tradition that allows us to keep the real definitions. And we can always go back and say, this is the real meaning of a Sikh. We might not be practicing it necessarily today. But that's a fault within us then. That's not a fault within the Guru. That's not a fault within the system that the Guru has created. The Guru created a perfect system, but now we've been comfortable evolving that in a way that might be different to what the Guru initially intended. So a Sikh is, by definition, inclusive, never exclusive. And I think that's something that we can always go back to Gurbani and say, actually, yes, Gurbani does agree that your spiritual practice and what rituals you perform doesn't define whether you're a Sikh or not. It's whether you understand this oneness wisdom of the Guru. And the oneness wisdom of the Guru transcends religions. It is a wisdom for all of mankind.